I'm more impressed about the 100% opens. But that's a great result for the type of product and the actual industry they're in. And, you know, that's 21 qualified leads. You go show me another business in this arena with that who even has a database of people. They wouldn't. Nice job. That's great. I would ultimately come back to going, if you had 100, you know, people, the perfect clients come to you right now, what type of person are they? You know, is it female, is it male? What are they into? What other communities would they be a part of, etc. Because that's when you're going to go in there and you're going to be able to find, you know, the people who you're going to be able to help the best, you know. Just creating a new campaign where we are giving away the first 3 chapters of this bad boy right here. So first 3 chapters coming your way if you want to get your hands on it. Links in description. And just set up the email follow-up sequence to that. So we'll get that out this week and get the framework of the book into as many people's hands as we possibly can now. I'm just adding in another step for people to be able to, you know, trial out, test it, you know, even though like literally it is our least costing product we have. You know, in fact, it costs us money to sell the book because by the time you ship it and you get it printed and all of those things, you know, the mission with this project is getting it into as many people's hands as possible. The book is something that brings people into our network, right, into our ecosystem. And of course, we'd be silly just to run a campaign of a book that costs us money and that's it. You know, maybe one day down the track, someone might want to take up another product, another service that we have. They might want to come to one of our events. The book, the framework with the whole Unleash Your Greatness is a long play for me. You know, that's the long game when we're going to be running really big events. You know, I want people to be indoctrinated into my methodology, my thoughts, my teachings and so forth. So that's why we're doing that. We should get tree cam happening.
It's good though, because it's like, you know, slightly different angles people haven't seen before, makes it more interesting.
Yeah, it's true. I think he loves his craft there, which is good. You always want someone who loves what they're doing. All right, see you soon.
How's the...
Oh mate, look, I've only been gone 10 seconds, eh? The light's great, thanks. There you go, see, he loves his craft. He needs to double check, triple check, quadruple check. Some good lessons in that. The amount of times I've recorded something and I went to take it off the video camera, put it on the computer, and then there was nothing there because I either didn't press record or I didn't have the microphone hooked into the camera properly. I'll tell you, double check, triple check. The amount of time you waste having to redo something. Whew. Car open. Oh God, see, like this. I don't even have my flipping keys. Double check, Brett, double check. Tell everyone else to double check stuff, but don't double check your pockets because that would be silly, right? Give everyone else advice and don't take it myself. I'm standing in the lift giving everyone a lesson on double checking things. Forget my keys. There they are. See you for the second time. Car open. Thank you. See? Let's set this up. We've got car cam. It's pretty cool actually, if I must say so myself. All right, you're riding shotgun. Oops. It's not the best setup, is it? I think it's important that, and it's quite funny that I'm talking about this now, you know, I've got this video camera here set up in such a way that it doesn't require me to have to do anything. You know, it's set up here, it's stable. I'm not holding the camera. And it got me thinking, you know, before this weekend actually, or before last week, because we've just purchased a new tool that allows us to be able to do this, and also even a better lens, which now you'll be able to see in a lot more of the upcoming vlogs, just the extra width and so forth that we're able to get, which got me thinking about, you know, using the right tools for the right job. I often see so many people selecting the wrong tools, whether it be a software, you know, whether it be a delivery method, you know, selecting the wrong tools for the job. And you know, it reminded me of, you know, when I was an apprentice, I had to go and buy my tools, and one of the tradesmen, he said to me, he said, look, if you're going to get chisels, right, which is, if you don't know what a chisel is, it allows you to work with timber, and it's a real sharp, basically a sharp knife really. He said, make sure you get the best ones. You don't want to go get the cheap budget ones, because they'll last like, you know, a fraction of the time. You know, it's that concept of, you know, do you buy one chisel now for $10, or do you buy another chisel for $50 that lasts 10 times longer? You know, it's the upfront investment to save in the long run. So it got me thinking about the concept of, are you using the right tools? Are you using the right tools, or are you just trying to do it on the old cheapo? And when I say old cheapo, look, I totally get it, that sometimes, you know, you might not have the funds available for it, but think about, what are you willing to give up at the front to get at the back? I think it's such an important question that we all need to continually ask ourselves, me especially as well, is going, are we doing this in the best possible way that we could right now, or is there a better way, is there a better tool, etc. So I'll leave you with that question. Are you using the right tools? I mean, I'm not going to pretend to be someone I'm not, you know. I understand professionalism and all of those things, but I think in this day and age of building a business and building a company, a lot of all the old paradigms of the professionalism, the suits, the ties, the wear this, to the corporate world, you know, it's totally changed. I mean, you look at companies like Google and Facebook and all that, they've changed it. You know, I mean, all these tech startup companies got couches and bean bags and go and work over in the far corner where there's a cabin made for, you know, like just random stuff. But you got to look at it, and there's reasons why that's like that, you know, because it makes it feel like you're not in a cubicle and you're just, you know, I mean, we could put cubicles up here. I'd never want to do that, you know. You got to look at what makes people, number one, want to be there, what makes them actually more productive from a psychological level and a surrounding level. It's all scalable, you know, you don't end up with 100 clients tomorrow that you're serving and, you know, 20 team members like overnight. You scale up on each variable. You know, every time a new team member comes in, you're gonna go, what's the new process? What's the onboarding process look like for that? How would that change, you know, when you got 20 people, 30 people, 40 people? You know, I listened to Sheryl Sandberg, actually, COO of Facebook, the other day. She was saying, when she started at Google, because she used to work with Google, she built the entire AdWords department from like 4 people up to 4,000. And she said one of the things that they did was every time when they started, they'd celebrate everyone's birthday. But when you're at 100 people, it's like, how do you start celebrating everyone's birthday? When you're at 4,000 people, I mean, you just can't celebrate people's birthdays. And the valuable point I took from that, because she was like, well, if you start something and you bring it into the culture and it changes and you no longer have it, you know, that can add resentment to people who have been going through that for such a long period of time. But it's the debate off of, do you not do that because of potentially you're going to have 100 staff or 200 staff and you're not going to be able to manage that? Or how would that look? Would it get microed down into, you know, instead of everyone doing a happy birthday, maybe you're off in groups of 10, 20, whatever the case may be. But it was interesting to think from that level of, when you're building something now, how does that look with 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 people? It is. And this is why you're on the ride, to see behind the scenes how this all unfolds. Because guess what? I don't really even know. Surprise. All right, that's a wrap. I'm out of here.